Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. Welcome back to another video here on Ty Talk Sports. Game 2 of the finals is here. It is upon us after the Denver Nuggets took the Miami Heat in Game 1. The final score was 104-93. Nikola Jokic led the way with a triple-double with 27 points, and then Jamal Murray followed right behind him with a nice 26, and Aaron Gordon got the dirty work done as well. For Miami, Bam Adebayo played extremely well on the offensive end. Would like him to see him step more up defensively, especially on Jokic, but he did not do too terrible. Quickly, for the rest of the game recap, Jimmy Butler struggled as he was only able to get 13 points, and the shooters for Miami struggled with all their stat lines on screen now of Caleb Martin, Max Strus, and Duncan Robinson. Their total field goals were 2 of 23 after having such an amazing impact throughout the course of the playoffs. They struggled to get shots up in this game, and that's what was able to be one of the huge deciding factors in the Nuggets and themselves running away with Game 1 on Thursday night. But Game 2 is here. Let's not talk much about Game 1. Game 2 is here, and let us do another one of these short prediction videos with some X Factor players, things that'll be determined. Let's get right into it. So, like I said, Denver was able to take Game 1, and when you take Game 1 in any series, you look to keep holding home court advantage, guys, and I think Denver is going to be looking to do that, but I do not think that it'll be as easy as it has been for Denver, especially last game, because here's the thing. Miami is not going to play as bad as they did. Again, I do not expect Jimmy Butler to have only 13 points. I do not expect these guys between Caleb Martin, Max Strus, and Duncan Robinson to go 2 for 23 with just only, I think they had like 7 combined points between the 3, maybe 6. I do not expect that to happen again. I'm looking for Bam Adebayo to do it, to replicate what he did on Thursday night, especially on the offensive end. He was able to really get what he wanted. He was 13 for 25 from the floor. I think he had 26 points, somewhere around there. He had, 26 points for Bam Adebayo on 13 of 25 from the floor, and 13 rebounds as well. He was able to get some work on the glass, and was a really big factor for Miami in Game 1. And I'm going to look for him to do the same thing again. I would really expect him to continue playing this way, because when he plays well, Miami is going to play well, hopefully, as well, because he's such a firm structure. Even if Jimmy Butler struggles, if he's playing well, Miami's going to be in it. And I expect everyone to step up. I really expect Jimmy Butler to not go 6 for 14. I expect all the other shooters to play better. Now, Tyler Hero may be back this game. We don't know. It's possible, but I think we could expect him more towards Game 3. So right now, they're going to be running with the same guys that they've been running with all playoffs. And like I said, I think everyone is going to step up this game. Gabe Vincent had himself a nice game. Was 7 of 14 and 5 3-pointers for 19 points. I think he's going to continue to play well. Kyle Lowry didn't have too bad of a game himself. 4 for 8 with 11 points. The stat sheets aren't horrible, but the plus-minuses is where it really shows. Jimmy Butler, minus 17. Caleb Martin, minus 10. Max Strus, minus 12. I mean, they struggled. Everyone struggled. The only positive guy in the plus-minus was Kyle Lowry at a +2. Even Bam Adebayo with the game he had, still at -6. So I'm going to look for all the guys from Miami to continue to step up and hopefully play better as they have throughout the course of the playoffs. But I do not expect really Denver to slow down. I expect Jokic to continue doing what he did. He had 10 assists in the first half, finished with 14. That is the most assists in a finals debut in NBA history. Michael Porter Jr. had himself a decent game. He had 14 points, but was 2 of 11 from beyond the arc, 5 of 16 from the floor. He struggled shooting the ball last night, so I'm going to look for him to be better shooting the ball, especially because that's what he's known for. He's known to let it fly, and obviously no matter how many times he's going to let it fly, I mean, he's going to try and always consistently knock it down and continue to shoot as many times as he's going to want that. But he was plus 20 from the field. Jamal Murray had himself a game with 26 points on 50% of shooting, and he was such a big piece in the Game 1 because whenever it seemed like Miami was cutting in closer, he stepped up. Not in Jokic, and yes, Jokic did a lot down the stretch, but midway through the fourth quarter, late in the third, Jamal Murray did a really great job of controlling the pace, and he did a really great job of not letting Miami get back into it, especially during those non-Jokic minutes. Murray stepped up, and he stepped up big because he was able to continue to score and get points on the board for Denver as Miami was trying to cut more and more into that gap. I mean, I remember it was like an 8-point game at one point, but Jamal Murray did a really great job of continuing to keep the gap as far as possible, especially during those Jokic minutes, like I said. That's what big-time players do, especially in big-time games. You know, you're going to want your guys to step up, especially down the stretch. And it looked like when Miami was having a chance to come back, Murray did a great job of preventing that. So I'm going to expect really the same thing from everyone. I think even Aaron Gordon had a really great game as well, especially in the first quarter. He had 12 points early on and was just really scoring at will, especially with a lot of the smaller defenders such as Strus and Gabe Vincent on him. I'm going to be looking for them to maybe switch up that matchup, though, and maybe they'll throw someone such as the likes of maybe Cody Zeller. I wouldn't even be surprised to see Nikola Jovic for the Miami Heat step in because obviously he's one of their bigger players and they're going to need some more defense on the floor. So maybe they'll try and see what he can do defensively. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Nikola Jovic get some minutes, and especially Cody Zeller get more minutes because when Adebayo steps out, you need someone else to guard Jokic. And I think Miami will do a great job of trying to synchronize Bam's minutes with Jokic's minutes because he's going to be their best threat defensively on Nikola Jokic, as I said in my last video. So that's really everything that I'm kind of expecting from this game. Like I said, I do not think the shooters, as well as Jimmy Butler, will not be as bad as they were in Game 1. And I really think Denver is going to do the same thing. So, for my X Factor players, we'll get it off with the Denver Nuggets. I'm going to go with Jamal Murray again. As I said, Jamal Murray did a really great job, especially during the non-Jokic minutes of closing the gap, keeping the game within Denver's hands, and just controlling the pace. And I'm going to look for him to do the same thing. He had 26 points on 11 of 22 from the floor, 2 of 7 from on the arc. Maybe he'll knock down a few more three-pointers. But I think Jamal Murray is really going to be one of the biggest impact players for the Denver Nuggets and overall this series. So I'm going to look for him to do really the exact same thing that he did in Game 1. And I think he's going to continue being that X-Factor player, especially if they choose to separate Jokic and Murray for some minutes throughout the course of the game. And for Miami, I am looking at just all the shooters as the X-Factor players. Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, Duncan Robinson. And even Gabe Vincent, like I said, he had a great game in Game 1. 50% from the floor with 19 points. 5 assists as well. I mean, Gabe Vincent did not have a bad game. But I'm going to look for all the shooters to step up because they're going to need that. I mean, Max Strus, 0 for 10. Caleb Martin, 1 for 7. Duncan Robinson, 1 for 6. I mean, those are guys who have been impact players all playoffs. And now, in Game 1, they just completely disappeared. And if they don't disappear, Miami could have easily won that game. The final was 104-93. It was an 11-point game. Miami could have easily won that game had just each of them knocked down two extra three-pointers. They're not going to be that bad again. They're needing the role players to step up and knock down some shots. And if they do, Miami, it's going to be a much closer game. Jimmy Butler's not going to have 13 points. He's going to have more than that. So Miami could easily make this a 1-1 series on the way back to Miami as long as everyone steps up and plays the way they have all series. So those are my impact players for both teams. Now on to my final lock-in prediction for Game 2 of the NBA Finals. I am going to continue rolling with the Denver Nuggets, but it's going to be a much closer game. I'm going to go with 108-104. I think this is going to be one of those games that just comes down to foul trouble in the very end. I think it'll be one of those games where we see it maybe ending with free throws. I think that's just how this game is going to go. I expect it to be a back-and-forth battle all game. I do not think Miami's going to be as bad as they were in Game 1. I think that's going to allow it to be really, really close. With the way that Miami struggled and they still only lost by 11 points, there is no need to be worried if you're a Miami Heat fan or worried that this series could be a sweep because this is not going to be how the whole series will go, in my opinion. I think this could be a series that honestly ends in 6 or 7 because Miami is a great team. They've been playing great basketball all playoffs. And who knows, maybe it's just one of those finals Game 1 nerves for a lot of these players, and it's not going to happen again. It is not going to happen again, and I think this is going to be a series that really goes back and forth throughout the course of all the games, especially when they go back to Miami. I think this could be a series that's 2-2 by the time Miami goes back to South Beach to play their 2 games in their arena. But until then, Denver is going to take a 2-0 lead against Miami. And that is my final prediction for this video. So, if you guys did enjoy, please subscribe and hit that post notification bell. Before I go, the stat on screen now is the amount of subscribers compared to the non-subscribers. 97.5% of my viewers are not subscribed. So if that is you, if you are one of those 97.5, hit that red subscribe button, man. What are you doing? We post new content here consistently over at Ty Talk Sports, and I'm always on top of it. I think you're gonna love what you see as long as you hit that red subscribe button. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss when I upload the newest videos here on this channel. And until next time, this is Ty Talk Sports signing off. I'll see you guys.